What's going on, everyone? Jeremy from the Quartering, and I'd like to play a game with you, if that's okay. Let's all just have a little thought experiment, a little bit of fun today on this hump day. I've just opened my own video game studio, and I've released a few amazing titles. You, my employee, have been hired to be my community manager, and I've asked you to engage with the fans, get feedback, and report back up through the chain of command any issues that we need to fix or possible ways that we can exceed the expectations of our customer base. You then proceed to attack the fandom. Call them entitled. Tell them they don't deserve the game that you've given them. Well, then you get called into my office, and I remind you that attacking the fandom, attacking our fandom, our customers, I'm going to drop you like a used condom. You're fired. You're gone. That's how it should work. That's not how it works in the video game industry, though. We have James Stevenson of Insomniac, their literal community director, going at the fandom. Now, this worked great with Jessica Price attacking the fandom. Let's see how it works out for James. I want to just highlight a little of what he said to the customer base and why, yes, it is different than me or you as non-employees of a company tweeting things. See, I've often said, and this is something that I'm actually strongly considering for exclusively games, is having my writers and editors not have our company name in their bylines on their Twitter profiles or anywhere else. I'm strongly considering that because I don't want, one, them to feel like there's any situation where they can't be free to communicate exactly how they wish to communicate. I also don't want a situation where they say something stupid and then some fat beardo makes a video like this roasting my company because of something my employee did. It's pretty easy. We've talked about how DC Comics has this policy, and I think you're going to continue to see more employers have social media policies and have directives. For example, like our friend at Ubisoft, who has now had to remove Ubisoft from her byline on Twitter and make a public apology and remind everyone that her thoughts are her own. I've also talked about how I believe strongly that people who get these jobs at video game companies put them in their bylines for clout. When you do that, it is for personal gain. I think many of them are in dire search of that blue check mark of insanity provided by Twitter. Prove me wrong. Now, I get being proud of where you work and things like that, but again, if you're going to do that, if you're going to put that you are the community dictator at Insomniac Games, then you forfeit your freedom to act without repercussions. This is what I believe. If you disagree with me, I'd like to hear in the comment section down below. I'm not saying that James Stevenson can't have a go at the fans, but when your first line on your Twitter bio is that you're the community director for Insomniac Games, that is now a work account. I don't care how many tweets of $80 steaks and 50-year-old bourbon you want to put out. That is now a work account. If you want to argue with people and be unprofessional, well, then you just need to create your own account. According to James, no, you don't. You got an amazing game from us. You get to engage with us daily. Ooh, you get to tweet at us. What a privilege. We are open and transparent as we can be. You deserve nothing else beyond that point. And if we could give you anything else, we would have. The fact that we haven't should say it all. Spicy. You are welcome to give feedback. We listen to all of it. But that doesn't entitle you to anything. Oh, we've got another woke warrior in the video game industry who will definitely block me after this video. James, you might be a nice guy. You might be a good boy. But you are making a very bad decision, as we will continue to go down the rabbit hole of you attacking your customers. You forfeit the right to be a dick when you put your company name in your byline on Twitter. Unless your company wants to stand by it. We'll see how this does for sales of your next game, should you continue to act like this. I didn't say anyone deserves nothing. You quoted me and changed the meaning of it. And yes, you gave us $60. You got a great game. That's the actual deal here. People seem to forget it. Yeah, that's right. We gave you what you wanted. Now leave us alone. Who cares if there's bugs or other features we like added? We got your money. We're done with you. How about this? Wall crawling is still busted. Enemies glitch through walls and make you have to restart missions. The absolute ass DLC suits, which are base game suits we've gotten, and the boss fights are still bad. DLC 3's boss fight will be forgettable, just like the others. So James goes, you realize this is a boxed single player game, right? You didn't like a mechanic. There's some bugs in a huge game, and you have an opinion of DLC suits, and you didn't like the boss fights. None of what you're talking about is changing in this game. James. It looks like you might be talking this way to a woman, too. James. And you know, even though I have a backlog of games, I do own a PS4, and I definitely had planned to get Spiderman on there because I'm a fan of Spiderman, and I'm also a fan of great video games. I'm grinding hard to finish Red Dead Redemption. Then I've got Divinity to finish. I've got to try Sunset Overdrive. And I'm taking the last week of the month off. Probably not from YouTube because I need that dopamine drip. But now Spider-Man will not be on my list. And I actually put out a video recommending people pick that up for Christmas. This kind of behavior from developers is so sickening. After the harassment and even a death threat or two earlier this year, I kind of withdrew from social media for a while, but now I'm back and immediately goes to war with the fandom. What an idiot! What an idiot. James, you are the community director at Insomniac Games. All right? That is the first line. It'd be one thing if you were just some random dev. It would still be disgusting and fireable offense in my figurative video game company. But you are the community director. And you say, this is all in one day. This is all in one 24-hour span. You admit that you got, things got a little too heated for you on social media, so you had to take a break. And then you immediately come back and ask for it. Yes, you are. You could have just posted a picture of a cupcake or whatever you're eating for lunch. That's not what you did. You tweeted out, passionate is not an excuse for harassment. Having paid for a piece of software or service does not entitle you to be a jerk. Harumph. You are not always right. Listen and believe me. You are the community director. And I do think it's important to point out this type of behavior when it comes from a developer so that gamers can remember next time Insomniac Games comes out with a new title exactly how their community manager or their community director treats the fandom. Now, I don't think it's unreasonable to think that this guy had taken some heat online, okay? Maybe some things that were said to him that were too spicy. So you block and you move on. I don't think there's any problem with a company, really. If you're an employee of a company and you're taking just too much heat, you can block people. That's fine. That's what the feature's for. Or mute them. That's even better. Let them tweet into the aether, okay? But when you are just sparring with the community, the very first day you come back, that tells me you are not fit for your job. Now, does this mean he should be fired? Well, in most cases, I would say absolutely not. But you're the community manager. Maybe there's another position in the company where you can deal with your angst towards gamers and your anger towards the customers more effectively. Maybe you could work in customer service. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.